talked about just briefly was I brought up give you one clap. Right? Now you can't if we're involved in a clinic, that's what we do. And the reason we do that is we want everybody to be thinking and focusing. Right? We want them to be watching who is talking. If your eyes are not up, fellas, then you're not listening. Right? Pay attention to the person that's talking. When your teacher talks, you listen to your teacher. When your parent talks, you listen to your parent. When your mentor talks, you talk to the mentor. I talked about this briefly with the coach people. The point of it is, if you look around the field, you're going to see some different signs. Signs like responsibility, accountability, D1, in terms of this is what offense, defense is trying to instill in these young players and young kids. That's what we're trying to do, as well as we bring them along in the football part of it. The owner of this campus fell out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Rick Whittier. Right? This is what he believes in. He tries to establish a foundation for the youth in terms of what is important. All right? What is important? What is important is doing things right. And accountability, like I talked about. And you young guys, you got to pay attention to this. Give me 2 claps. Right? Pay attention now. That's what you got to focus in. Because in football, if you don't focus, you don't pay attention, what's going to happen? You're going to jump off sides. There's going to be a careless mistake, and you're going to lose games because of it. They talk about football being a team sport. There's no other sport in the world like it. In terms of getting a teamwork, in terms of getting the snap count down, making sure that, hey, I know exactly what's going on. And the way you do that is by preparation and by studying and listening to everything everybody says. Give me 1 clap. Pay attention. Pay attention. Keep your eyes up. Pay attention. That is what we're going to do this week. That's very important for you to understand. If you don't do it, then you're letting yourself down. You're letting your teammate down. They talk about, again, that football is a team sport. That's exactly what it is. It's the one guy relying on the guy next to him. Give me 2 claps. Pay attention now. All right? Keep your eyes on the guy that's talking. That's me right now. That's me. This is what we are going to try to achieve with the children. Parents, understand this is going to be the emphasis. And in 4.5 days, we hope that we've at least elevated them to the point where they are listening a lot more. They are cleaning their rooms. They are on time. They are obviously taking care of the cafeteria. They're working hard out here. They're doing everything they're supposed to do in terms of becoming a better football player, a better person in terms of accountability. Now I realize it's easy for me to stand up and talk about it, right? But that's all, that you got to start somewhere in terms of football and how it relates to how they exist. Give me 2 claps. That's it. They're getting better. They're starting to pay attention. This is what we have to do. All right? But again, these signs are the kind of things that we're talking about that we are going to preach and talk to them about the entire 4.5 days. And I mentioned this earlier today. Fellas, this ain't easy. I'm telling you that right now. This camp is not easy. And if you understand that it's not going to be easy, you've got to challenge yourself. Give me 2 claps. You missed it. You missed it. Pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. All right? Pay attention. The point is you've got to make sure that you're doing everything right. We want you on time. If we say line up in a single file, you line up in a single file. This isn't a boot camp. It's not about that. There's no punishment involved here. The only punishment would be if you may lose your helmet. If you are asked for your helmet, it's because you've done something wrong. You always cannot lose your helmet as a football player. That means you can't practice. In front of your peers, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. So all we're asking you to do is do the little things right. And again, the word accountability is very, very important here. We're going to have a great time. We're going to work very hard. And like I say, this isn't easy. Sit up, please. This is not easy. Right? If you accept that, you're going to be fine. You're going to work hard. Throw on 10 degrees out there in that field, and you got it. All right? And you got it. But if we're going to be on the practice field over 7 hours a day, heat of the day, and we're going to work hard. But this camp is about fundamentals incorporating contact. Fundamentals. Now we're not going to have contact today. We'll have a little tomorrow. That's it. And then on Tuesday we'll pick it up with teams and scrimmages, because you just don't throw a bunch of kids out there and say, "Oh, go play." 1, they'll get hurt. 2, it's mad chaos, because it takes time in this sport. You've got to do in terms of getting yourself ready to play with the guy next to you. Give me 2 claps. All right, is everybody clear what we're talking about?
Yes, Coach.
Everybody clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Head in the right direction. A little bit. James talked a little bit about the history of this camp. I was a coach myself. I worked out. I did this coaching and the whole thing. It was great. The teaching part of it is nothing like it as a coach. I don't know if you're aware that 29 of the 32 head football coaches in the National Football Team, the league, took part in offense defense. So this foundation has been laid over many, many years. There's a lot of teaching going on. And if you as young players listen, if you listen and you pay attention to the man who's talking, you'll get better. The key to it is from here, then you take it back to your school or back to your team and incorporate that into your play. But it just doesn't happen. You have to do practice. Give me 2 claps. All right? So appreciate that fact. All right? Let me just make a couple of... Mike Jefferson, where are you? Why don't you stand up here, big man, okay? Marcus Andrews, come on up here. Come on, both of you, come up here, please. All right, now these 2 young fellas, all right, these guys are going to be players someday. This is important to them. All right, this guy was in our camp in St. Louis last week. He talked his dad into coming here, all right, for another week. This young man is from Louisville, all right? Talked his dad into coming over here, all right? I mean, these guys, it's important to them, and you cannot believe the improvement that they've made in a week and a half. And this guy was with the high schoolers last week throwing the ball, all right? This guy's 7 years old, all right? And they're getting better and better. My point is, in front of you, fellas, if you take that kind of attitude like these 2, you're going to have success. You will have so much pride that you survived this camp and got through this camp and learned so much about playing the game, so much about how to do things right, and hanging in there. You'll be so proud of yourself going home. Give me 2 claps. You'll all be watching me. All of you, at all times, just like your teacher. You listen to your teacher, right? Because you have to do that in terms of getting ready to play a football game. Because you can lose in the 4th quarter if you're not paying attention. Not paying attention. I gotta sit down. Have a seat. Thank you. All right. I just want to point that out. Here's a couple guys. The improvement is astounding. Absolutely astounding. If you do it right, you're going to have the same kind of success. Trust me, you really will. All right. I'd like to introduce the coaching staff right now. Fellas, if you would mind coming out here, you got to get out of the shade. These guys have been coaching a long time, much like I have been coaching a long time. All right? And I'll do the best I can in relating with parents as much as I possibly can. Understand this. Your son may come here as a running back, and you're looking out in the field, and one day you may see him playing, he might be a 10-year-old, he might be playing guard, right? Just because we might need a fill-in. So don't go. We're going to give him a lot of reps at the position that he wants to, but we have to be flexible in terms of numbers, in terms of having them play a lot of different positions at times. And they love it. They'll have a great time. So just please don't be sensitive that your son is not getting reps at a certain position, because he is getting reps, and we do the best we possibly can in that regard.